slow up, no I don't take shit. I got no love for the fakeness. If you wanna play tough and wanna hate this, I'll always show up. I don't ever slow up, no I don't take shit. I got no love.
Delicately played, Daniel Medvedev. Oh, well, he's left it.
All right, Daniel Medvedev, of course, that was the action when it comes to the world of tennis. We saw Daniel Medvedev, of course, Krabs, it took under 3 hours to defeat, talking about Karen Chagalov in the first round of the Monte Carlo Masters. When it comes to the world of tennis, they were combined of 36 break points during the 2 hours and 51 minutes, with Medvedev saving a lot of time when it comes to the world of tennis. And of course, welcome to you, Sports Central on the U TV. And of course, it's time to talk sports when it comes to the local news, when it comes to the foreign scene. Of course, a lot of things went down in the course of the weekend. And of course, this week, UEFA Champions League, the Europa League, and the UEFA Conference League going down at this particular. A couple of games will go down today, and of course yesterday night it was a very mouth-watering encounter between Arsenal and the Real Madrid. We're talking about that this day, and my name is Stephen Ajayi. Definitely, I'm not Odiye in the studio. This time around, we have dual analysts, whereby we will be discussing more about that when it comes to the world of sport. We have Abayomi Yusuf right here in the studio. Good afternoon, Abayomi.
Yeah, good afternoon, Stephen. I mean, it's been a while. I mean, we just, go back in memory. Myself, it's been how many years? 2 years or over a year?
Over a year.
But it's great to be, and sit with you again.
Definitely. Well, a lot went down yesterday and a couple of the weekend in the NPFL, definitely. But before that, we also have Abiodun Oguntikpe. He's a regular feast. You're part of the family now, will I say?
Well, of course, it's good to always come on the program and talk sports. It's very interesting, the matches we saw in the Champions League, and of course over the weekend what we saw in the Premier League, and of course in the Nigerian Professional Football League, NPFL.
Right there, for talking about the NPFL, and definitely we would kick-start that, talking about the game between Shooting Stars versus Ikorodu FC. Of course, it ended right there in the stalemate, a goalless encounter, definitely. But in between the match, and of course after the match, we saw the controversial issue concerning the fans and the ref, whereby a lot of reports came in that the ref had to, put on declare itself as a police officer so that she can actually move out of the stadium successfully. After the match, we saw, fans attacking the boss of the players and so much like that. But NPFL have come in to say that they're ready to investigate on those particular occurrences when it comes to the NPFL. But let's talk about that particular game, Shooting Stars versus Ikorodu City, after the match. We call it aftermath of the game because a lot went down after that particular encounter. But let's, what do you say about that match? Last week we talked about attacking of a certain NPFL team at the training ground, and
I think that was Lobby Stars or something.
Yeah, Lobby Stars, due to poor performance, and now Shooting Stars versus Ikorodu City, it was a very, very controversial matches, and people pointing out on the ref and a lot of things. But concerning that, what would you say about the NPFL, Abiodun Oguntikpe?
I think the authorities of the NPFL have been doing very well in sanctioning teams where they have crowd issues, where fans attack the team or the officials, and we've really not had that much of a crisis this season because the authorities of NPFL have been very strong, sanctioning them. They pay every fine. They say that at times they play behind MCs in an empty stadium or behind the scene, or they are banished from their home ground to another set to go and play. So it's not been very frequent, but then it's surprising because Shooting Stars team, they are now attacking after that game, that draw against their opponents, and I think they're expressing their frustration in a very wrong way. Yes, we've seen Shooting Stars staying behind Remo Stars second on the league for so long, and then in the last couple of matches, the result has not been going their way. And of course, they're saying that the government has invested heavily, this and that. Football is not only about money, that because they have invested. Where was Shooting Stars last season? They were nowhere to be found. And it was when Gumbote came in this season, they were able, towards the end of last season, he joined, then he stabilized the team. This season, he has really done well. They really moved up. They were second for long, and I think after January, it became tough. They couldn't maintain their second spot. They came down. They drew a lot of matches, even lost some few ones. And the result has not really gone well in their favor. For me, I think building a winning team that will win laurels takes time. The Remo Stars we see today topping the league that looks as if they are going to win the NPFL this season. They've been at it for the last 3-4 seasons. They've been coming second, third, doing very well, going to the continent. But after like 3-4 seasons, it now seems they're going to win it at the end of the day. So building a winning team, a good team that gives you the results. I know Shooting Stars fans, they have almost considered the title to Remo Stars and believe that they will become second and go to the continent. Even going to the continent, all these things take time. It takes time for the team to mature, to gather the experience, for the coach to really know his players very well, know the best tactics that fits them, that gives them the results. Know your opponents, know how to get the results, both a home and away. So, and this is just the second season. Last season was not even a full season; it was half season. This is just his first full season back in Shooting Stars. So, the fans should just be patient with the team, with the coach, and not take it out on them and of course the officials. And I'm sure the NPFL is going to take a very strong action against this because they've been doing that in the past, and they have invited, called for report and everything. I'm sure they are going to do the needful and take a strong action against
Of course,
this.
do the needful. But before I get my points from Abayomi, so definitely let's check out that particular, the particular and controversial issue between Shooting Stars and Ikorodu FC. Right, that was it. You could see it's very, very so sad, Abayomi. So sad getting that particular occurrence by the NPFL. We would always talk about the NPFL, Nigeria Professional League. Some of the fans are going to watch the NPFL League. You have to be ready for anything after the match. What would you say about that?
Well, in all fairness, they've removed the professional. I think it's now Nigerian Premier.
Yeah.
You can't really hold them that they're professional. But, in defense of Shooting Stars fans, they've had their own fair share of it when they were in Lagos. Onicon Stadium, they had their own fair share of it when Ikorodu United won 2-1 in Lagos right there. So, there have been stories back and forth, but then I was like I rightly mentioned, there have been sanctions this season over and over, and we've seen it. But then there have been, monetary sanctions, which we don't know if they are paying it or not. But then the one we could see, they are playing football behind closed doors. The one are playing away from home. We've seen it over and over again. But then the financial sanctions, we've heard about, millions of naira being sanctioned this club that go against the rules. But then we can't even hear if they have paid or not. But then we just like to wait to see the final decision of NPF after that proper investigation.
All right, after that proper investigation, and let's move away from the NPFL. Let's go straight to the actions that went down right there in the UEFA Champions League. Arsenal against Real Madrid, Bayern Munich versus Inter Milan, and it was a match-winning encounter from both sides, but one of the biggest victory was for Arsenal, Arsenal fans out there. So let's check out some of those highlights of the games.
Hard to even hear, but they don't necessarily have to. Here's Jude Bellingham, that's a lovely ball, this is dangerous. Mbappe! David Raya makes a save. Who's it going to be? Rice or Odegaard? It's Rice again! My goodness! Incredible! hard to even hear, but they don't necessarily have to.